Well, today in this video we are going to be talking about the T10 model that I got a few weeks ago. We're going to be doing a speed test. We're going to be talking about the hill performance. We're going to be having a look at the suspension, brakes, overall build quality. Should you buy this model? Should you not buy this model? So let's get into it. So the first test that I done was a speed test. Let's take a look at that right now. So let's go. $900-watt peak motor on this. We are at 29, 30, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 kilometers an hour. 42, 47, 48. Whoa! We've reached basically top speed there nearly. So we reached 48 kilometers an hour on the T10. Here we go. 46, 47, 48, 49. Whoa! So we reached 50 kilometers an hour there. To be honest, that's more than fast enough on this scooter. And just for reference, if you do want to unlock the speed on this model, there's already a good few videos online on how to do that. So it comes default at 25, but you can unlock it to 50 kilometers an hour if you want to. Now I just need to briefly talk about the stability on this model. Now the sheer size of this scooter, it's very large. It's high off the ground, you have big tires and very wide handlebars. You don't get a steering damper with this model. So if you plan on going those top speeds, I would probably have basically full face helmet and even full body protection, because it's not exactly 100% stable going those higher top speeds because of also those huge 11-inch tubeless tires. Okay, let's do a quick brake test and let's have a look. They are standard mechanical disc brakes. There is no regen braking on the T10 model. So I'm going 30 kilometers an hour here. Let's do a brake test. 1, 2, 3. Whoa. A good idea to do for this scooter, which would make the brakes really good, would be to buy the X-Tech semi-hydraulic calipers to give you that stop and power, because there is no regen braking with the scooter, plus that higher top speed. They're quite cheap, very easy to fit, and definitely worthwhile getting. So of course this has, well, it seems to have decent suspension, so I did do a quick test. Let's have a look at that and see also what the stability was like even on a bumpy road. Okay, let's check out the suspension. Now this scooter is extremely high off the ground. Standard spring suspension. As you can see, it's a little bit firm, so I guess of course it will be a bit more difficult to bottom out. But I think for everyday bumps, it should actually do an okay job. The deck, even though it's not the largest deck I've ever stood on, it's actually not too bad. So even if you're size 10 or maybe 11 feet, you should manage to stay comfortable on this. So let's talk about safety. Of course, you have those standard mechanical disc brakes there. You have indicators left, right, you have a horn, you have a front light, of course you have a rear light. So it really will do the job. It is IP54 rated from what I understand. So in torrential rain, it's probably best not to ride this scooter. But in light rain, just take it easy and be cautious. The folding mechanism in this as well is not too bad, so let me give you a look at that. So you have this type of folding mechanism. Pull up this part, then you simply pop down this, and then of course you have a 3-point fold mechanism, with a lot of scooters are coming with. So overall quite sturdy, not a lot of concern there. Latches very tightly, very firmly, really good. So it's hard to probably see this on camera, but these are a really nice thread right here, and to give really good grip. Of course tubeless, so quicker to repair. Pump these to 50 psi. I did do a brief off-road test where I could find a piece of gravel and deep grass, so let's take a look at that. Okay, there's a small patch of heavy, very heavy gravel here, so I'm just curious to see what these tires are like. But of course, to get over here I need to jump over some barbed wire so I don't cause a flat. I'm very curious, can the torque on the T10 actually go across this gravel here? Let's have a look. Whoa. Oh, actually doing quite a good job. Very thick gravel. Tires providing very good traction actually. You would not be able to do this on street tires. What does it perform like on grass? Actually on grass is actually okay as well. Very bumpy here. Suspension doing a reasonably okay job. On this kind of patch, it's also a bit wet, but the traction is actually not too bad. We are on gear 2, so if I put this onto gear 3, what would gear 3 be like? Kind of get a bit higher speed. So surprisingly the torque is actually okay on the scooter. Whoa. It's still actually going through very bad ground here and performing quite well. I'm actually quite happy with that, to be honest. Oh, slowing down a bit. Very bad thick grass here. Oh, scooters is actually still pulling us. It's still pulling us. It's still pulling us on this very thick terrain here. Wow, there we go. Really nice. Just take a look at the sheer size of this LCD display. Of course, very hard to miss. You have your gears here, 1, 2, 3, 3 giving you the higher top speed. You have your indicator here, left for example, and it's of course a bit of a faint line, but it does the job better than nothing at the end of the day. You have your switch here, which is actually for your light. An additional light on top you could get if you want, but they should actually do quite a decent job. Very simple, very easy to use. Handlebars, nice curvature as well. Again, that big display. You have the old style voltage meters on this, so it's actually quite nice. Voltage is always a good way to go off instead of going off these bars in increments. So 51 volts is what it stands at right now. Thumb throttle, I'm starting to like these. I've seen this on another e-bike that I had. Very nice design, very comfortable, not such a cheap feeling. Grips, okay, not too bad. Kind of soft around this point, so your hands should be quite comfortable. Cable management is not too bad either. They are all quick release connectors, as you can see. So if you need to change a part, you just pop that off, pop a new part on. Hopefully you don't have to do that, but this is definitely one of the conveniences of this scooter. Kickstand holds the scooter up really good as well. Rubber material, very easy to clean. Back plate for stability. Deck size is not too bad. You know, if you have relatively large feet, you should be more than comfortable, to be honest, on a scooter like this. Really big mudguard here as well, so very nice to see, and quiet, not a lot of banging coming from it either, so that gets a thumbs up. So when it comes to hill climbing, this has a 900 watt peak motor, so it will get you up an average size hill. Don't expect too much from it. Once you're not in a crazy hilly area, or you plan on taking this to crazy off-road tracks, you should be absolutely fine. So not too much to worry about. So I think a hill of 10 degrees, 15 degrees shouldn't be an issue for this scooter. And a few maybe small jumps if you plan on doing something with your friends. But overall, I do like the tires. Suspension is firm, but you won't really have, I guess, much of an issue. Yes, you could upgrade the suspension if you want. But overall, I think build quality is actually not too bad, and I am happy that I did get to review this scooter because it does seem to be getting quite popular. So overall, yeah, not a lot of complaints. So let's talk about some of the specs of the T10. Well, first off, it's a 48 volt 13.5 amp hour battery. And with that, you get a range of up to 45 kilometers. To be honest, the faster you go, the faster your battery drains. You need to keep that in mind, because these scooters are tested with a light rider in absolute perfect conditions, but in real world conditions, to be honest, if you're going at top speed of 25 kilometers an hour, you may get 15 to 20 kilometer distance max, give or take. It depends on wind, it depends on hills, it depends on your start, stopping, and overall. So you just need to keep a few of them things in mind. But not much to complain with that 48-volt battery, because it does provide actually quite good power. And particularly when you did see me on that trail there of the gravel and the deep grass area, those 11-inch tubeless tires done a fantastic job, and that 900 peak motor had actually quite a good amount of torque, and I was quite surprised that I was able to drag me through that mess. So I think from a light off-road perspective as well, you can have fun with the T10, which is quite a nice surprise. And with this as well, thankfully, you get a 3 amp hour fast charger, which is a bonus. Now I'm going to go through a lot more spec right now and give my opinion. This is on the website. It's a 500 watt motor with a peak output of 900 watts. Like what I said, fantastic. It's 30 newton meters in torque, which I found to be quite accurate, going that little off-road trail that I brought it on. So really good from a torque perspective. With that fast charger, it can take between 4 to 5 hours to fully charge, which is really nice to see. It of course has the front suspension, rear suspension. It has 140mm mechanical disc braking that give okay stopping power, but like I mentioned, you could upgrade them to the X-Tech semi-hydraulic calipers to give you even better stopping power. And just on a quick note, if you do decide to get this, I did manage to get a limited time only discount code that's linked in the description. But do keep in mind this scooter is actually 27 kilograms in weight, so it's not too bad. But let's talk about the value. So let me just see what price it is right now at the time of recording this video with the spec that you're getting. Okay, it's currently on sale at the moment for €500. I think that's actually worth it for this model, for the kind of spec you're getting, plus the fact you can unlock the speed on this model. However, there are a few things to note. Number one, going that higher top speed, it's not that stable. Plus, because you only have those mechanical disc braking and no EBS to count on, from a safety perspective, going the higher top speed, it's questionable, to be honest. Going the lower speed, you won't have much of an issue. The main problem of the stability on this scooter is because it's so high off the ground and the suspension swing arms are quite large, plus you have those 11-inch tires on top of it, and the way the overall frame is designed, that's why it's not that stable at high speeds. Could you get a steering damper for this? Maybe. Of course, I haven't seen one available yet, as these seem to be only new models coming out, but you definitely need to take that in consideration. Is it a good first-timer scooter? Maybe, if you're going that lower speed. But if you're a first-timer and then you end up unlocking this scooter going that 50 km/h, you definitely need to be careful because of those issues that I've just said. At the end of the day, there are improvements to be made on the T10. Like a lot of electric scooters out there, there is no perfect electric scooter out there. There probably never will be. We will always want something more. But overall, for that €500, and if you end up using the discount code that I have below, it's actually quite a steal, to be honest. What can I say? If you have enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.